All right, let's talk about Bluetooth. For the first time in what feels like forever, 8 years actually, we've got a brand new major version. So today, let's dive into what Bluetooth 6.0 is all about. So the big question is, what's actually new here? Is this the huge leap forward we've all been hoping for, especially for our headphones? Or is it just, a minor tune-up? Let's break it all down and figure out what this update really means for the stuff we use every single day. So why the big jump? Why go all the way to version 6.0? To really get it, we kind of have to look back at the timeline because it tells a really interesting story. Okay, so the first thing that just jumps right out at you is the gap. Bluetooth 5.0 came out way back in 2016. I mean, think about that. Sure, we've had little updates since then, but an 8-year wait for a full version number? Man, that sets some seriously high expectations. All right, so what's the big headline feature? The one everyone is buzzing about? Well, it's this technology that promises to find your lost gadgets with almost magical accuracy. It's called channel sounding. And this is where things get really, really precise. We're moving way beyond just knowing if something is nearby. With channel sounding, two devices can calculate the exact distance between them, right down to the centimeter. I mean, that is a massive, massive leap. But how in the world does it work? Well, the old way was basically a guessing game. It just looked at signal strength. That whole you're getting warmer, colder thing. The new way? Oh, it's way more sophisticated. It uses a couple of tricks. Round trip time, which is literally measuring how long a signal takes to go out and come back, and phase-based ranging, which analyzes the signal wave itself. Putting those two together is like upgrading from a dusty old compass to a high-precision GPS for finding stuff lost in your living room. And you can immediately see how useful this is. I mean, imagine never tearing your couch apart to find that one missing earbud ever again. Or your phone pointing you exactly to your car in a packed parking lot. And for security, your smart lock could know you're standing right in front of it, not just somewhere in the house. This could even pave the way for an open standard alternative to Apple's AirTags, which would make this super precise tracking available for everyone. But, it's not all about that one cool tracking feature. Bluetooth 6.0 is also getting a whole lot smarter under the hood, really focusing on being more efficient. And to get how, we first need to clear up a feature with let's just say, a very confusing name. Okay, you're going to hear the word advertising a lot when people talk about Bluetooth 6.0. And as this quote points out, it has absolutely nothing to do with the ads you see online. Nope. In the world of Bluetooth, advertising is just how a device announces itself. It's like your headphones shouting, "Hey, I'm over here. I'm ready to connect." So with that in mind, let's look at this thing called Decision-Based Advertising Filtering, or DBAF. Picture this. You're on a crowded street. Your phone is getting absolutely bombarded by signals from hundreds of other Bluetooth devices all around you. DBAF basically acts like a bouncer at a club. It lets your phone instantly decide which signals are important, like your headphones, and which ones it can just ignore. And that saves a ton of energy. Here's a super simple way to think about it. Your phone gets a little introductory packet of data from a nearby device. If that packet is from, say, a random fitness tracker you walk past, but you have your music app open, your phone knows right away, hey, I don't care about this, and it just ignores the rest of that tracker's data without wasting power to process it. It sounds like a small thing, but it adds up to some pretty significant battery savings over time. And there are a few other unsung heroes in this update too. Monitoring advertisers stops your phone from endlessly searching for that speaker you left at home. The isochronous adaptation layer is a fancy term for something that reduces lag in audio, which means much better sync when you're watching videos. And a negotiable frame interval helps stop those super annoying audio dropouts when you're in a busy place like an airport. These are the quality of life upgrades you'll actually feel every single day. Okay, but all of this brings us to the elephant in the room. The big one for any audio lover. Does Bluetooth 6.0 finally give us true, lossless, high-fidelity sound quality? Well, the answer is a little complicated. So check this out. This is kind of wild. You'd probably assume the main problem for audio quality is bandwidth, right? But Bluetooth has technically supported up to 3 megabits per second for years, all the way back since version 2.0. On paper, that sounds like it should be more than enough for lossless audio. So what's the deal? Well, here's the catch, and Alfredo Perez from the Bluetooth SIG explains it perfectly. Not all of that 3 Mbps bandwidth is actually free for your music. A big chunk of it gets eaten up by overhead. Things like security protocols and error checking that are just necessary to keep the connection stable and running. And this table really lays out the problem perfectly. After all that overhead, the available bandwidth already drops. But then you hit another wall, the standard audio profile itself, the one called A2DP. It maxes out at around 1.2 Mbps, and that's in a perfect best-case scenario. So the bottom line is, we still just don't have the reliable dedicated bandwidth for true lossless streaming, and Bluetooth 6.0 doesn't actually change that fundamental limit. So if it's not lossless quality, where is the real audio improvement? Well, it's all about stability and lower latency. What that means for you and me is fewer random connection drops, fewer annoying little blips and stutters in your music, and a much, much better sync between what you see on a screen and what you hear in your headphones. No more weird lip sync issues. Okay, so you're probably thinking, this sounds pretty good. A smarter, more stable future for Bluetooth. But the big question is, when can you actually start using it? Right, first things first, there's a pretty big catch. To get all these cool new features, especially that pinpoint channel sounding, it's not enough for just one device to have it. Both your source device, so your phone, and your accessory, like your headphones, both need to support Bluetooth 6.0. It's a two-way street.
So what's the timeline look like? We're really just at the very beginning. The first handful of products are probably going to trickle out later this year, but for it to really become mainstream, you're probably looking at the iPhone 17 series in late 2025, and then major Android phones like the Google Pixel 10 and Samsung Galaxy S26 following in early 2026.
So, what's the final verdict here? Is Bluetooth 6.0 a revolution? Well, no. A revolution would be something like true lossless audio or doubling our battery life overnight. Instead, it's a really powerful and practical evolution. It makes our devices smarter, way more reliable, and a whole lot better at finding each other. And honestly, those are improvements that solve real, everyday annoyances. And that kind of leaves us with a question to chew on, right? In our wireless world, what do we actually value more? Is it the endless pursuit of a perfectly lossless audio connection? Or is it a connection that's just flawlessly stable, super efficient, and just plain smarter? Something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.